What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us. We are here for the weekly Football Manager Show. It is the 10th of the 9th. It is myself and Ryan, and we have from the United States in his car, we have Colin. Thank you for joining us, pal.
Oh, always glad to be here and talk with you guys.
Perfect. Let's this week we're going to have a talk about what our favourite tactics from Football Manager 2015 have been. Then we're going to have a look and review FM16. People who saw earlier on in the week we had a live show as the features were announced, but we've had time to kind of reflect now, so we'll just give our thoughts on that. And obviously Colin wasn't there for the live show, so he can give his opinions as well. So we're going to first go on to my own tactic. So I had to choose the 5-5, Ryan. Now you might get a bit upset that I've gone with such a defensive tactic.
No, it's expected of you, so
thanks.
We'll listen to the Italian-style defensive football in you.
That's harsh. So I had to go with the 5-5 because no matter what save I'm doing, no matter what team I am, if I'm struggling, if I'm finding it difficult at that exact moment, I will always revert to the 5-5, and it's always successful in terms of steadying the ship, making my team get a bit of confidence, and I can possibly go a bit more attacking. Currently I'm playing a 4-2-3-1 in my save, and if we hit a couple of bad games in a row, straight away I just switch to the 5-5, and before I know it, confidence is high again. I mean, you guys have seen the post on the 5-5. Is it something that in FM16 you guys might consider for a third tactic? And what about yourself, Colin? We'll go to Colin first, Ryan.
Go on, Colin.
So, probably not in this pure sense that you play it. I think from an idea perspective, tactically I do very similar. So my 4-3-3 always has that back five setup in there. So I think that's something stylistically I like to play, and as a foundation for a lot of what I like to do in the systems I play in FM across the board. So I fully expect to have something similar in 16. But will I be as sort of overtly defensive as you are? Probably not. I think I'm a little more neutral, maybe a little counterattacky in my setups. But yes, I'll have a back five in a similar configuration. Four across the back and a defensive mid, but not quite as the same up front.
Let me attempt to plead my case to you guys, because as you say, you're not so defensive minded as myself. Let me just say that currently in my the season I'm currently in, I'm averaging more than 3 goals a game. This tactic has been used for about 40% of that, and this tactic with a mid-table League 2 side got me 51 clean sheets, and it averaged in that specific time, it was averaging just under 2 goals per game. So it's not the worst tactic, but I do see when I show somebody the 5-5 base, which I always call it a base because the idea, Ryan, is for someone to develop from the base, because that's why I've not put a download link on the post. I think people can build from it and build an attacking tactic.
I would agree with you. It's something, your setup, like Colin said, I haven't used specifically that setup, but I always like to have a defensive midfielder in some fashion, maybe in a different role. Could be deep line playmaker, could be a half-back, could be a regista. I always like to have that some cover for the centre-backs, just in case they have a minor lapse in concentration. You've got someone there that's supporting.
Yeah. I mean, on talking about your tactic, we can actually just go over yours now. So that's just come on the screen there. What I will say is there's a lot of it is quite similar to how mine actually sets up in terms of the style of passing. But what I see is, for example, you have hit early crosses on. That wouldn't be possible for me because there'd be no one there. And then obviously you're playing more expressive and at a faster tempo, Ryan. But obviously as the tactic goes across on the screen, you can see why you're playing that. It's a very attacking formation.
It is in
it's
a way.
It's also very solid.
Yes, it is in a way. You've got that balance between the defence and the attack. The hit early crosses is on there because essentially we've got complete wing backs and not right midfielders or attacking midfielders. So essentially they're up and down the pitch. So I'm looking at it, if they're from a defensive perspective, they're going forward. If they go too far forward, cross the ball, and the ball gets headed out, they've got to come all the way back into defensive areas to cover.
Yeah.
So hit early crosses, get it in there early.
I mean, looking at that, my first thing to say was it's a very attacking formation. But when you look at it, 3 central defenders automatically in Football Manager, the 2 on the sides automatically push wide. Then you have a very defensive midfielder. So when your team is defending, they would automatically form a very narrow back 4. Then you've got your wing backs who in the defensive mind of the game are going to drop back. So you're almost going to be pulling yourself a 6-man wall to defend against, and then as soon as you win the ball, they just gung-ho go forward, don't they? So I mean,
that is exactly what happens. And you see, it's one of those, if you ever played against it, unless you are well enough at thinking and can break down 6 players at the back, it's quite an issue. I know I'm playing it now with my Man United team, who are amazing. I think, Paul, you've seen the defensive midfielder who's currently in that screenshot, the 19-year-old who is scary how good he is.
Unbelievable player.
Unbelievable player. I look forward to his development. That's what's keeping me on this save, just watching him play. It's scary.
I mean, what I would say is, looking at that, I would like to put my 5-5 against it because I can draw you out. But then on the other hand, your 2 attacking midfielders straight away would make me want to alter my tactic. Because they're going to control my defensive midfield, which is then going to destroy the 5-5 base, basically. So I might be able to draw you out, but then I'm going to draw you onto me and you're going to overpower me in my more solid positions. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to definitely go up against it with 2 matching teams and just see what could happen. Maybe that's something we should do before the end of Football Manager 2015.
Possibly. A goodbye to FM15 admin battle.
Yeah, well, after the admin battle against Ben, I don't really like the idea of admin battles anymore. But Colin, we're going to go on to your tactic.
Sure. So I'm primarily I'm a 4-3-3 sort of fan. There's a lot of similarities to Ben and sort of the post he had made. So if you look at it, I have a back 4. I tend to opt more into fullbacks as opposed to wingbacks in it. I do a lot of game time adjustment in how I want my fullbacks to play. So if I'm afraid I'm going to get run over, I tend to leave them much more defensive. If I think I have an opportunity to overrun a team or I'm trying to change the flow of a game, I move them into support and attacking. The save that one's on, I happen to have 2 fairly speedy guys on the wings, so I let them play wing. In that case, I stretch defenses out going forward, and I can get effective crosses into the deep lying forward, who kind of navigates his way and flirts his way into the box and otherwise connects to the midfield. My other big adjustment point is my central midfielder, so I like to leave them very general. I tend to opt to leave them at support, and then I'll play with them depending on the flow of the game. So if I think I can control a team and really push it, I tend to move them into attack and really overload going forward to try and overload what I think is a weak team or a team where I see a tactic where I have a lot of space, especially between a midfield and a back 4 in a 4-4-2 type situation. If I'm running them into teams more like your 5-5, where I've got defensive midfielders to deal with, and I'm not going to get as much of that space, I may back them into support or push them into more of a defensive role to support the defense if I'm getting a very heavy, sort of 4-2-3-1 type formation that I'm dealing with on it. So there's a lot of adjustment that goes into mine. So I try to keep it fairly simple out of the gate and then work it depending on what I can do with the team and who I'm playing.
Yeah. I think it's definitely, as you say, that base is a base that I like to use a lot as well. But quite often I've actually found the base of a 4-5-1 has let me down quite a lot this year. So I kind of started pulling away from it. Now, I didn't go strikerless, but as York playing, I think the striker is a deep line forward or just a defensive minded forward. Dropping back and just kind of kind of forming a 6 in midfield seems to work a lot better with that type of formation.
Yeah, I found with that formation is if you play a more advanced forward poacher type role with it, you end up very ineffective goal scoring because you're sort of stranded and isolated in no man's land, and becomes very easy for opposing center backs to pick up. I tend to favor, the support in the central midfield is intended to try and push up and create some issue with opposing defenses. So now you've got 3 guys kind of hovering around in a place to cover, which helps open up a little more space. And by having the wide men, you pull fullbacks away, so you leave the box a little confused and unconstrained.
Okay.
Which I find tends to help me score a little more goals. If you leave, if the center backs are more, or the center mids are more defensive minded or kind of hang back, then you have a very advanced forward. I find you tend to be very ineffective offensively because you're covered. You're not really peeling anybody apart. There's a lot of people marking, so even if one guy has a lapse, you're still very well covered. You end up just crossing a lot to no man, or the opposition, and then you don't. It's hard to recycle possession effectively, and you basically end up stuck playing defense a lot. So the tactics requires a lot going forward to kind of balance that midfield defensive line gaps and players so that you can kind of make space for the team for the tactic to work.
Yeah. I think, but as people can see there, then them are the 3 tactics that we've picked. My 5-5 Ryan's crazy tactic. What do you call it, Ryan? 3-3.
3-3-1-2-1, I think.
3-3-1. Yep, that's it. And then we have Colin's gone with the 4-5-1. But as he says, that does alter so much. We're going to move over to Football Manager 2016 talk now. Now, what I will say is I'm going to switch to a different slide, and I have forgot to stick Skype on that, I've just thought, so there will be a slight pause of about 5 seconds while I quickly insert Skype into the slide. What I will say is, remember, Football Manager 2016 comes out on November the 13th. I hope you're ready for it. Pre-order with FM Central. Contact us for details. Check out our website. You will see posts on that from tomorrow morning, hopefully. We'll be starting to sell that. But I'm just going to move over to the other slide now. So can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Loud and clear.
I wonder if people can still actually hear on the stream. But either way, I'm gonna capture Skype into this just so you guys, just to make sure there's no issues. So if people can just literally just bear with us just that 1 second. This is my mistake. I totally forgot all about it. Window capture. This is all very professional, as you guys know. Position. Order. Move to the bottom. Here we go. Let's talk some Football Manager now. How does that sound, Ryan?
It's what we're here for. The FM show.
It's what we're here for. It's what I like to hear. Right.
Oh, look, a sexy picture of me I can see on Twitch.
I know, I'm trying to move everything along so it doesn't have everything on display, but that's kind of the best it's going to have to be. Ryan, do you want to talk about the first feature? It's Unlockable move clubs. You've moved club 10 times. It's just like these little features they bring in, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure, to me, whether that would stand as an achievement, because you could be sacked 10 times.
Yeah, well done on moving.
Yeah, but
at least I'll get an achievement.
Maybe unless they've coded it that you've actually moved clubs, as in you've applied for the job, or a club has approached you and you've moved actually, and you've not been sacked and moved. It'd be interesting to see what they do there.
I'm just quickly editing. So
what did it say? So it says, having moved clubs is just caught up on Twitch. Having moved clubs 10 times, you have now unlocked the ability for all job applications to be successful. See, I think that would annoy me.
People are going to drive crazy. We're so unprofessional today, but I'm just quickly moving some stuff around in the background. Go on, Ryan,
I'll keep talking about this unlockable achievement. I think that for me, I don't know if anybody else agrees or Colin agrees, to have every application successful, every application, it seems to me unrealistic. To me, from the screenshot that I can see, it doesn't look like it's in the full game. I think it looks like it's in the FM Touch.
I hope so.
By the looks of it. So if it's in the full game and every job application is successful, it's going to make it so unrealistic.
I hope it's a type of achievement you can deactivate.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, I'm at FC United of Manchester.
Go on,
I'll
Colin.
apply for Barcelona. Go on, Colin.
No, I think I totally agree with you. I think it totally clips the reality of it, right? Not every opportunity is going to be successful. And to your other point is, I hope it's more of a you decide to move as opposed to you're Paul and you get sacked 10 times and
Harsh.
now you can go anywhere you want.
Little digs in there.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? Bollocks, that we're moving on. Don't know what you're going to say, Colin. Forget about it. Having now managed your club for 20 years, like that would have happened. You've unlocked the ability to design your son. Again, a feature I hope doesn't come in because I actually like the random idea. Now, yes, a lot of people on our Facebook group complain, I've reset 1,000 times to get my son. Just continue playing. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I
agree completely. I don't have a son on my save.
I've never had one.
No.
I've never had one either.
No, I mean I've got one in real life, and they're hassle enough. Like so, getting Football Manager's my getaway. If I have one in there as well, jeez, you kind of get a break. But we'll jump on. Like I say, them little features are not really much to talk about. Right. The next one is an interview process. Now this looks like it is in the full game because it's the main skin. So basically, they've just resigned from the club, and it's why your immediate thoughts upon resignation. Now, this is a nice feature, Ryan, because obviously I'm quite good at moving clubs, and obviously when you move, normally after you get another job, they say, "Oh, now you've had time to think back. What's your thoughts on leaving?" So I do like the fact they've kind of stuck that in now, where if you leave a club, you automatically press conference. Why did you leave?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they incorporate, like, if the press get hold of all, if you fell out with players or the board didn't agree with your transfers, etc., etc. If that's going to come into these questions, whether you get sacked or you decide to leave, it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. The next one, Colin, is... yeah, we'll move on. The next one is a loading bar. In fact,
I like it just the way it was. I don't feel any need to do it better.
Yeah. Ryan, you should be able to see that on Skype now. I just thought you're quite delayed, so we'll change that.
Just caught up. So I think the only change there is some little Prozone stats that they've put in.
Yeah, Wigan are among the leading goals in League 2, netting 11 times in 5 matches. So little stats as the game's loading.
Nice little touch for anybody who likes simple stats.
It's somewhat good because then you can maybe go and check out that squad and see if there's anyone to sign. Play data general. I assume this is if in the editor side of things, looking at it.
I think so. Twitch is just catching up, so I can't see the image.
Skype.
I can't see it yet. I can see it now.
Yeah, I think.
Okay. So yes, this is on the editor where you can start. I think this is create a player in the create a club mode.
Okay.
So you can create players within that. I'm sure I read this on
See, this is a feature which I think at some point I'm going to utilise for a YouTube series, which is create a club mode. I don't know in what concept yet, or content, sorry, but I will look into that, Ryan. See what people think. It is something to look at. I don't know if you're going to consider that, Colin.
I was interested in the create a club. To be totally fair, I was definitely interested in the create a club. In the player piece of it, I'm not sure. I know that's always a popular feature of creating strong players, but less so enthusiastic about that. But definitely interested in create a club.
Yeah. There is actually another one which is coming up with the draft power, which we'll talk to you about as well. When we get to it. So the 6th image is basically your board confidence, Colin. So it's obviously it's saying like major highlights now with as the team's fantastic overall performance in League 2, major concern, disappointed by performance of certain players. Then you have like competition matches, club structure, the exact same as before basically.
Right, it's the exact same before with a few slight
the major highlight and that kind of more standing out, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice for a little bit of tweak. I mean, to some degree or another, especially when things aren't going kind of well, just a generic like, hey, I wish you were playing better in the league. It'd be better if there was a little bit more tweaking to it, but yeah, nice enough overall.
I do like how they are tweaking just little bits on all screens, which we'll notice as we go through. Sorry, image 7's the same. Image 8 is the home screen, which again is slightly different. You have quite a lot different on this now, Ryan. I think looking around it, you have obviously the league table and the graph above that. You have your job security, and then the bars below that. You have the team stats on the left. So there's like goals conceded 19, the 19th best. Goals scored 22, the 14th highest, which is nice to see. Yellow cards 4th highest, red cards 5th highest, average attendance. It is all ranked along with the rest in the league now, and it's all visible to see that as well, which is nice. So you can kind of see how you're doing compared to the rest a lot quicker.
Yeah, and it seems like you can change what goes on your home screen as well with the little drop-down menus.
Which is nice. Always nice to be able to do that. The 9th image, it's again, Ryan, we assume this is not the full game.
No, I think this was when they released it on Twitter. They put this on to show FMC Touch. I think I'm not sure why they chose this image. A very strange image to show, but I think that's going to be the player profiles for FM Touch.
I've never been a fan of the lesser game. I like to have the full Monty, all the stuff, everything we can see.
I'd like to see you do the full Monty.
Yeah, I bet you would. James is on as well, and I guarantee he would like to see it. Good evening, James. Hope you're well. Hopefully he's done in his new graphic on the Football Manager Whiz Kids on YouTube. Go and check it out. Give it a like. James is doing a video with his editing skills now. Have you seen it, Colin?
I have not, but it is in my queue to catch up and watch. So
he's
this weekend I'm planning. Ooh, nice.
And his editing skills have improved dramatically. Is that a word?
No,
Ryan?
Probably not.
Oh, what do you know? Right, the next screen is the screen which excites us all. Prozone. Oh. Now it's the one showing, which I assume it was a showing. It's showing shots, passes. What's on the main screen here, Ryan?
So there are passes, which I don't think it's...
No, I'm looking to see what this image is. Is this image shooting or what?
This is, to me, it looks like it's crossing.
Let's see. Can I move it down? Does it show me anywhere?
From what I can see, because there's a lot of balls coming into the box. But basically, Prozone into FM16, absolutely fantastic. Really excited because me and Colin love stats. Paul, I don't know what you like about stats, but I love to see numbers everywhere. Completed passes, completed crosses, shots in different areas, where the shots are going, in the goal, off the goal. It's going to be fantastic to see. I can't wait.
Definitely. Go on, Colin.
For me, I think this is probably the most significant feature I can't wait for. Like Ryan said, I think something I really love in the game is analyzing what's going on to make the adjustments, to get better, to really understand what's going on and improve tactically what I'm doing. And this is just such a phenomenal level of integration of more information, more stats. I mean, yes, it's going to be more work to understand it, but
awesome.
I think I can't wait for it. So this is going to be a cornerstone of what I want to explore and something I'm going to look at when I'm starting to get into my recording and that with FM16 is just really diving into understanding what's going on and how to really improve tactically and really mold that team to what I want to have happen.
Exactly. I mean, for someone who obviously prides himself on being solid at the back, this is going to be such a major help for me. And then 1 or 2 goals a season, if I can cut them back and be more solid, and also find out why I'm not being able to convert my solid defending into counter-attack football. It's going to be a lot more easy to find out now, Ryan. I'll be able to look and go, right, when I'm getting down the left, my players aren't linking properly, or they're not putting that final pass together, so maybe I should drop my striker back. You'll be able to find all that out a lot more now, Ryan, which is fantastic.
It's exciting. I cannot wait to start using
Prozone
this.
is by far the best thing, and as I've already warned people, the YouTube videos on FM16, I can guarantee I will be releasing specials each week where it will literally be me reviewing the week's games and the stats and going, oh, this is what went wrong. I mean, here we are, another Prozone stat here, which is basically, it is the shots from a specific player.
On and off target.
It's all his shots. Yeah, it's from number 9. He had 6 shots. He scored 3 goals, and you can see where he had some shots from. I mean, I don't know about yourself, Ryan, but I'd be calling him into the office and asking these 2 on the left corner, what the hell was he doing?
Shooting to the crowd. Maybe someone annoyed him in the crowd, and he decided to have the ball.
Ryan,
Cute girl in the 4th row.
Yeah.
Well, this is the question now. Yes, okay. So, at first glance, Ryan, I wasn't sure whether that was an 18-yard box or the goal. I'm not joking you, that is genuinely what I thought. But now...
Very true.
Now I can see, I would assume the green is the goal because that's the crossbar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then the green just outside of that is probably just over the bar, and then the green beyond that is what are you doing? Your shooting's horrendous.
But see what I mean though, it's a fantastic feature. I mean, that now, you're looking at that and you're like, oh my god, you can actually see, right, 4 of his 6 shots were along the ground. 2 were in the top corner. Both in the top right corner. Every time he aimed to the right of the goal, he was on target. Every time he aimed to the left, he was off target. So that would tell me play him on the right hand side of the strike partnership.
It is definitely something. If they're going to go to even more detail, or if you're going to be able to switch back between screens, like you've got these shots where they've gone to see where they're actually shooting from. So if they're shooting from distance, and if you can see they're on target or off target, the specific distances they're shooting from.
Exactly.
And then relate it to that, what you can see on the screen.
That's a good point. Sorry, go on, Colin.
I was going to say, I think the other thing that all, the sort of the Prozone data integration kind of tells me is that the game is going to be harder. You're going to have to understand it. You're going to have to get into it. You're going to need to be more, aware of players, what they can do, and then how they fit into the system.
That's exactly
so I think,
right.
Player picking, player research, stats, scouting, system training, the whole package is going to take a whole step up with this because, right, I can't imagine they're going to put all this information in and not make you need to use it like you would in real life, right?
Exactly.
That's the basis of the game. So I'm excited and a little nervous in the sense that I think it's going to get a little rougher, but I'm so excited by just what this is and all this information and being able to use it to just explode in the knowledge that'll be there.
I mean, before I explain another great point about this feature here, TJ has actually put a fantastic comment across, so thanks for listening, Timothy. He's just said, will the goalkeepers take this into consideration for penalties? So, for example, 4 shots on target were all on the right hand side of the goal, and every shot to the left side of the goal as you're facing was off target. So, will the goalkeepers take that into account? Can you tell your goalkeeper, to study this? I mean, again, that's something we don't know, but it's going to be amazing to find out. I think getting excited now, Ryan.
Maybe more little additions that may not be in FM16, but suggestions for FM17. Get them in.
Like James said there, FM16 is not going to be a game to load, play half an hour and then go off. It's going to be a game where you focus and you take a couple of weeks to do a season, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But I mean,
more time every day to go into analysing the game.
Yeah, you'll get to the weekend, you'll be watching the football, and somebody tweeted, didn't they, saying I feel like Gary Neville. It'll literally be like that. I'll be reading these stats going, they don't know what they're talking about as I'm watching them on telly. We're going to the next screen, which again I think it's at skip that crap. It's the touch. As I've explained, I'm not a fan of the handheld versions. I downloaded one onto my tablet, and genuinely wish I'd just used the money to buy coffee. Tactics screen. Now, this caused some debate in the group, and somebody said that I am unable to criticise a game. Well, I just have. But the main game, also, I will criticise if I'm not happy with it. I've said this in the past. Just because I own a fan site doesn't mean I'm not going to criticise a game. And if you look at the tactics screen, first glance, the first thing you notice is them massive boxes, Ryan.
Right,
now,
I said it to you.
At first thought, gone.
They look very bulky.
Yes.
Take over the whole pitch.
Here's the question now, though. They do look too big. No question about that. But, as I said in the post, I will reserve judgment till I've seen it. Till I've played it, because if I'm going on and off my tactics screen, if it is easier and clearer to quickly look and go, right, he's not good enough for that position, he's only half a bar, he's only a 3/4 of a bar, he's playing left wing, he's number 6, if you know the players by number. If it's easier to visually see it because of how they've done it, then I'll be happy with it.
What I'm interested to see is, I don't know if you can notice, on the actual pitch, top left of the pitch, there's a circle thing that's selected, and next to it there's a graph. I'm interested to see what that actually is.
Yeah, you almost want to just click. I'm clicking it, but nothing's happening.
We can't click on it, so I'm wondering if when we click on that, that changes these massive boxes to something on the players that we can see in their positions.
Hang on, I'll just have a sneeze attack. I think, the circle is clearly the bar, like to say how good they are for that position. So I'm wondering if it stays the same, but instead of the circle, you've got maybe some other sort of thing. Maybe that's why the boxes are so big, Ryan, because they're there to fit the other part in. I guess we're going to have to certainly find out.
Well, it's like you say, reserve judgment until you've actually used it.
Yeah, that's it. If it fits perfect, if it helps you visually glance at it and visually use it, then you can ignore the fact of the boxes. And like we say there, if that other option on the pitch is the reasoning behind the box being so big, then fantastic. For all we know, that box could be the most recent form. And now you can look and go, oh God, he's having a shocker, and get him off so quickly. TJ says, good luck fitting 4-1-2-1-2 in there. He's definitely got a point.
Playing like a 5-man midfield, like James said.
Yeah. Now this I love. I love the look of the new play screen, Colin. The way the pitch to say the position he can play in, it's a bit slanted now. It looks a bit nicer. It's the same colour. It's see-through instead of a green pitch, and I think it looks quite nice. I tell you what, I think. Sorry, go on, Colin.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think they did a nice job cleaning it up. I think that's always been. It's an incredibly pivotal screen. You spend an enormous amount of time on it across the board as you're scouting players and that. So I think little adjustments that make it easier to digest what you're looking at, figure out what's good and what's not, draw your eye to the right places so you can start, make the analysis and conclusions you need to a little quicker to make, scouting and transfer season a little more efficient is a really nice improvement.
I like their little addition of, I don't know if you can see it, outfield rating. As you can see, this person here that we've got is a goalie. So he's got an outfield rating of 3. I don't know if that's out of 5, out of 10,
it's out of 20,
or whether that's just going to be
because it's same as.
But is that going to be a specific stat for a goalie to say, like, if you're really struggling for players lower down the leagues, you may get injury crisis.
Well, don't forget
you may have to put your goalie outfield.
Don't forget all outfield players have that. For goalkeeper,
they do.
And I know it's always out of 20. It would be interesting to see if somebody had like a 10 for outfield rating.
If
he's a good set piece taker.
Yeah.
Quite easily. I saw somebody, I can't remember, the name doesn't come to mind. If someone's listening back on YouTube, dropped in the comments. He did a YouTube series where he put Neuer up front for the whole season, and he scored 30 plus. So
yeah, I want to tell you, I want to be surprised.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next screen. I'm hoping there's an outfield player. I think there is, because there was something I wanted to put across. So here we are, coaches. You used to be able to request coaches. Now, I actually hope this is something that's being sorted, because what really frustrates me about Football Manager is the fact that your physios count towards your coaches. And if you're only allowed 6 or 7 coaches, which I currently am at the club I'm at currently, upon joining the club, they had 3 physios on long-term contracts, and I can't afford to sack them, and they've taken up 3 of my 7 spots, and that's very frustrating, Ryan.
It is. I'm sure it was something on previous FMs where physios didn't count, so I think they changed it for FM15, which was a very strange change. But who knows? They may sort it out for FM16. They may not. They may just make you think, how many physios have I got? Make notes.
I blame James. But we'll move on to the next screenshot, and basically, I don't believe it's a scouting range. I don't believe the players' pool is big enough. So you've asked for them to increase the scouting pool. They basically saying we stand by the original assertion that it's not, that's big enough to succeed, and then just gives you all the options so you can kind of argue the case, which has always been it's always been in. I thought maybe I was wrong.
It has, but I think there's. Let me see. I don't think there's any more additions.
Don't think so.
Who knows? Maybe it's like I said when we went live with all these announcements. That announcement was put out there. I think SI are trying to tease us, and there could be more additions that they haven't shown us yet.
Definitely. Fingers crossed. Contract screens, Colin. Now I actually like this. The fact that on the contract screen now, the biggest box on the contract screen is the bonus and clauses. Now that is so vital in football. It's so vital in the contracts. The clauses and the bonuses can earn a club money. It can also cost a club a lot of money. So the fact that is the main feature now, it seems, on the screen is great to see.
Yeah, I think that they've done a decent job so far with what I've seen around sort of contracting and things like that. I think that combined with the insurance that I saw an announcement on as well is big. So, we talked about it in a previous episode, right? Finances, especially lower leagues, is such a huge deal, and bonuses in that are a way that you can attract better players. But as you said, can cripple a club financially if the guy starts making good on them. So making it more prominent, making it easier to understand the impacts of what you're getting out of it, so you can better balance salary. Is all a good thing as far as I'm concerned, because money and club financial stability is such an important aspect to being able to be successful if you're into lower league management like I am.
Definitely. I don't know if you've noticed, Ryan, in FM15, when you offer players wages on the right hand side in the box, it tells you what the average wage for the club is, and etc. And I don't know if you've seen there on the screen now highlighted in orange, the fact that is now brought in directly below the wage you're offering. I think is a great feature, because again it makes you notice, and it makes you try to implement a wage that suits the rest of the club a lot more easy.
Mm-hmm. And they've also implemented the squad status. So here we've got key player and he's interested. You think he'd be very interested if he's going to be a key player, but...
Depends if he's dropping down the levels. We don't know who this guy is.
Maybe. That's a very good point.
He's just a jerk, I'm sure.
Hang on, let's check it out. Oh no, it's Barry Carr from Cambridge United.
And where's he going? He's probably going to...
Wimbledon, I would guess.
Wimbledon, yeah. So, interested... Moron. Should be very interested.
Sack him. Next image before we get angry. It's a team talk to start before the start of the match, and I actually had a look over this earlier, and I really like this. The fact that you can have a lot of stuff like the fans are expecting us to secure promotion, but then you also have the media has been praising you lately, but don't let the pressure get to you. The clinch promotion and stuff, that was in the last one, but the fact is...
And then there's the simple things like, good luck, lads.
Yeah, good luck.
It's like, good luck.
I thought I was reading that there was a little more in terms of like situational team talk stuff that they were adding in, which I think, and I heard a lot of players talk about it, especially on the Facebook group, and that more diversity in the team talk so that you can more accurately kind of tune what you're telling the team is really huge, because that's more of what management is really about in that sense. So I'm intrigued by some of these little adjustments just to see what it does. Is it all just sentences to make us feel better, or is there actually something behind getting it kind of right?
Sit back. I feel better now. Move on to the next one. It is the chance to create a team or
That's the Creator Club, creating your own kits.
You sure?
Yep.
Oh, yes, it is. Oh, no, it's a knockout competition, isn't it? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, it's definitely Creator Club,
Sacked.
creating your own kits.
Okay. I'm just looking at those draft round timeout limit.
Yeah. They seem to be
Is that the
creating kits here.
the fantasy draft one?
I think it might possibly be that, but it might also possibly be creating a club. We genuinely have no idea, so we're moving to the next image. The next one is the fantasy draft, and it is exactly laid out, I would say, Colin, like when you do the draft when you take over the clubs in the MLS. The clubs are labelled, like where you have the clubs along the top, and it shows what order they go in. You've got how much money they've got to spend. It's got the value of the players in the list. It's a good feature to come in. I don't know if you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm curious to see it. I probably play around with it. I'm not really sure how much I'm going to play with it. I'm much more into the sort of the run of the mill standard game, so I'm not 100% sure what I do with it. But it's interesting. I think it's something. It sounds a little bit sort of like FIFA-esque in terms of competition with it. Can I go out and draft draft some high-profile team, play a whole bunch, see what I can do? But interesting.
The question is, Colin, is which you might be able to answer. I'm not just asking you because you're American, but I am.
Thanks.
Yeah, as Americans who have maybe not followed soccer, I have my hands up as I say that.
That must have hurt a little.
A little bit. As they learn about the game and want to kind of explore the game more, will this type of feature, because it's quite out there in American sport in general, will this attract them to give this game a chance, do you think, this type of feature in the game?
I think this kind of feature allows somebody who's a casual observer of the game, who knows, Messi and Suarez and Ronaldo and, those kind of guys, to go in, kind of select them off and play and see what they can do. Yeah, I think it kind of helps some of that. So I think it helps the more casual fan.
Yeah.
Obviously the idea of drafts and selection and that is pretty common to our sporting universe, so it kind of plays into that. So yeah, I can see it having some net effect. Will you get that kind of player to transition into the more hardcore game where you've got all the rest of the stuff to deal with?
No.
That I'm not so sure of, but
we'll see how it plays out. We might give ourselves a game, me v you or something, when it comes out, just to see how this draft works.
I'm up for it.
Yeah, I'll lose anyway. We'll go on the next one.
So confident.
You've got to be. So we're going to the fantasy draft competition, the way you can set it all up. So you can see there, Knockout Cup 2 to 32 teams, League 2 to 6, play each other twice, head-to-head 2 games, draft options, you can select how much money the clubs start with, how many players are available to choose from, and the draft time limit. So on to the next one, which is, again, this is a Skybet League 2 screen, where it's shown, obviously, you can see there the top goal scorers, the average position, top goal scorers best at hitting the target, the most key passes, the most assists, most distance covered, all the stats bit laid out a bit nicer. I don't know what your thoughts are on the green part, Ryan. It doesn't appeal to me as much, mainly because on the other screens they seem to have gone with a lot of stuff's made more transparent. Like I think of the profile screen where they got rid of the green pitch. So I don't see why they've brought it in here, but
I think they've gone for more of a difference. So not everything's not just the same all the way through.
Yeah.
So you notice that screen is going to be the stats screen for this specific league.
Yeah.
And the other screen is the stats for your club or the league that you are in.
That's true. We shall see. It doesn't look bad. I'm just obviously questioning why they've reverted away from the green.
Something that's going to make things easier for managers if they're looking for players in the lower leagues. Key players, Jack Dunn, 97 key passes, sign him up.
Sign him up. But on to the next one, which is the stats again, and they've got rid of the green on this. So you can go through all the pass completion for each club, the good games without scoring, shots on target. There's more than what was in the old one, because I used to go through the team stats quite a lot, and there's a lot more included now which wasn't included before, which is fantastic. pass percentage, how many passes are completed, you can see for every single club as well. So you can almost kind of prepare yourself if you're coming up against a passing club to kind of try and neutralise their passing ability, which is definitely a feature which we'll all no doubt be using.
And put your big men up against Morecambe. They've conceded 8 from corners.
Useless. But we'll go on to the next one. This is the tactics screen, if I am correct, which I hope I am.
Yes, you are.
Perfect. Yes, I am. That is the full screen. So as you can see there, do you know what? I've looked at this a couple of times and I can't decide if they've kind of made it too all over the place or if it is okay. What's your thoughts, Ryan?
It looks very busy, but I think they're trying to go very much more into detail of what you want for everything. So we've got things here like play out of the defence, and it shows you on the pitch exactly what that would mean.
Do you know, I was just about to say that. Shoot on sight.
So you've got the shoot on sight, they've got it just outside the box. If they've got an eye for goal, they can just shoot from there.
It tells you that if you select that, they will be shooting from that distance.
Yeah, and they've got the exploit the middle where they're showing it in the middle of the pitch. They want you to exploit that area. Higher up the pitch, it's get that defence higher up.
Now what I did wonder is, like the width, the fairly wide part.
Yes.
Can you click and move it across? Can you click to make it narrower?
I think you can.
Okay.
By the looks of it. I think that there may be different blocked areas.
Now this I love, Colin, on the defensive line, the fact that you have half of the pitch and it looks like you can kind of select in the blocked areas to kind of select where the defensive line sits.
Yeah, looking at the instruction screen with the tactics thing, I think they're doing... I need to play around with it to get a better feel when it comes out, but it looks a lot like they're doing a better job to connect what the different instructions mean to what's going on and give you a little more ability, just like you said, with that defense piece to kind of customize what's going on. So you can really set what you're trying to do.
Because what I've found is you tell them to drop deeper and they still push up and you get caught with balls over the top. So it would be nice to say, look, there's the defensive line, you hold that.
Yeah, I think my problem with 15 is the instructions are very qualitative, like drop deeper. Well, what the hell does drop deeper mean? And the better your defenders are, maybe they understand it better, but you don't have any real control over it. You might as well tell them, run around and pick the flowers. So by being able to kind of select some lines, draw it and say, look, when I want you to drop deeper, I'm looking for my average defensive line to be, at the 18-yard box or, 4 yards in front of it, to stop those 20, 25-yard shots, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Gives you more control because that's more of what you would be doing in reality anyway, as opposed to go out there, run around, have fun, go nuts.
Enjoy. We'll go on to the next one. The next one's just a couple of there's a couple of match images coming up. So Ryan, straight away, I can see the slightly more smoother. The videos which were announced, which are on our website on the features post. If you go on footballmanagercentral.com, you can't miss the post. Ryan keeps spamming it in front of everybody.
FM16 time is coming round. It's going to be spammed everywhere.
I mean, I don't want to announce this on public and cause a public argument or anything, Colin, but Ryan removed the Welcome to FM Central video off the website.
Yeah, but it's FM16, so it's probably okay.
Wow. It's unbelievable.
Didn't even tell Paul.
He didn't. I went on about where's my video gone? The match engine. Colin, have you seen the videos which were on
yes.
Instagram and have been put on our website?
Yes, I have. I have gone to the website and I have watched the videos.
What was the thoughts?
I like how it looks. Some of the injury videos and that were entertaining, but I like how it looks. It looks cleaner, it looks smoother, it looks a little more realistic. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the different views and kind of how it records, so to see if you can get a better idea about what's going on. I know a lot of people like to watch and play in 2D Classic, but to be fair, I enjoy the match engine, and I'm looking forward to it, being a better experience.
Do you know what I noticed? On Monday night and tonight and last week, I haven't had a rant for a while. So I think this is the perfect moment, Colin, because you just brought something up, right? I won't name names, but somebody tweeted, quite a large account, tweeted complaining that they play in 2D mode, so the the changes to the 3D graphics don't affect them, I don't give a shit. Just because you like to play in 2D mode doesn't mean other people don't like playing 3D mode. So basically the game creators go, oh no, well, he doesn't like it in 3D mode, so we'll just leave it. Just leave it, because he likes to watch the 2D mode.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, all the tactically minded people, I know Ben, one of our admins, I think he plays in 2D so he can see the shape of the players. But you can, knowingly, you can change your camera angles on the 3D match engine to see the actual players. It's personal preference. I play with both. So
that's exactly.
It doesn't bother me.
Luckily, I was about to tweet. It's personal preference. A lot of people, including myself, use 3D mode now. It took me a long time to change over to it, so I'm glad they're freaking improving it. Because I was on the 2D for forever. And then, but you can zoom out, you can go elevated. Then what many people don't actually know, the scroller on your mouse will scroll the zoom in and out on the screen. So when you're elevated, if you just keep scrolling out, you're basically watching on 2D because it's so far away. But you're still watching in 3D mode, which is nice.
That's the view I gotten into playing with quite a bit. Was I got the same tactical perspective that I enjoyed, or pretty much the same tactical perspective I enjoyed, but I got a cooler, more realistic sort of match look out of it, which I also like.
I mean, I like to watch it in 3D mode now, because what I would recommend to people is a couple of the stats like concentration and all of the stats which are linked to concentration you can see in 3D mode better, because what they've implemented is you will see players will turn away and kind of not just wonder, but they won't have their eye on the ball when they should. And actually a prime example is on the screen now. There's a guy in the yellow who's kind of running away from the ball. Now,
doing a crazy dance.
No, but if they concentrate more, they kind of can scroll. They kind of run backwards and always be facing the ball and always be concentrating. And if they have low concentration, you will actually notice your players turn away more, or just not be watching the play. And
there's also a centre back that's facing the wrong way, which is quite scary.
Where you can see Akinfenwa here in the middle. Now this guy should be facing the play and working his way across to mark him, or at least just kind of get a bit closer. But nope, he's turned away. He's running to pick flowers. Collins obviously told him to do it.
That was because we had one of those qualitative instructions, so just go out there, look around, have fun.
I mean, you can see the manager in the background. He's pointing. He's obviously said that flower there. So we're going to the last screenshot, Ryan, which is a transfer bid. Oh no, it's a loan bid. So this is for someone from Brentford under 21s. Not going to pronounce it.
I think this is a transfer bid. I'm sure it is.
Well, he selected loan, hasn't he? Oh no, it's listed for loan. Do apologise.
For loan, but someone's gone in for a transfer.
Cheeky.
This is basically to show monthly instalments, and then you get a breakdown of your deductions over time if you're spreading transfers over 24 months, or if you're using after league appearances, you're going to pay an extra fee after promotion.
I like the fact that they say to you that, right, okay, in 2016, 2017, you will get 5,000 deducted off your budget. In 2017, 2018, you will get 1.5k deducted off your budget. Then obviously as you scroll down, the stuff that's been in there in the past is like the Brentford are believed to be looking for a defensive midfield, but it's a lot more clear now, so you can maybe go in and add an additional clause and offer them a player. Wimbledon must accept a friendly match with Brentford before Saturday 6th of August, and any agent fee or signing on fee negotiated as part of this contract will also be deducted from the transfer budget. And I'm actually glad that's clear, because the fact your agent fee is deducted from the transfer budget wasn't explained in previous versions, Ryan.
No, I think it only came in last year, but it wasn't very clear. They didn't they've got it in here literally in writing, so you can't miss it.
Exactly, and I like that.
I think they said it in the video that was announced for the features on FM15, but they didn't put it on the game to say if you have massive agent fees, like some of these Brazilians that are owned by agents 60%. You could end up paying 15 million, and that 15 million comes out of your budget.
Yeah, exactly. And now we are back on our new layout screen. I hope people like our new layout. Trying to make it feel like the Football Manager layout, which we will have to edit again once FM16 comes out, because we'll look like we're in the past. But remember, go and check out our website. The highlights of FM15 were Ryan's journey to United, which seems like it's gone on forever.
It's more of an update. World Cup's coming up very soon.
I genuinely believe when Ryan gets FM16, he's just going to kind of look at the screen and go, I don't know what to do. And check out my 5 and 5, a tactical plan. It's got a lot of love. Sports Interactive promoted it, and a lot of people enjoyed it, which was really nice to see. Remember to check out all of our community links, which are below the stream. And remember, Football Manager 2016 comes out on November the 13th. Are you ready? Pre-order with FM Central. Contact us for details. It'll be on the website hopefully tomorrow morning, ready for sale. So thanks for coming on, Colin.
Anytime. Thank you much for having me.
Ryan, as always, stay safe.
Glad to be here. I'm always safe.
Glad to be here. It's the happiest you sound.